Today we have in chapter 10 we have Stephen Blackball. I mean that the title of the chapter is Stephen Blackball, and it is very clear from the title of this chapter. It is talk about that kind of character, and this is the first time a character is being dedicated for that person. He's an important as others like Bound by and the Grind. But the importance of this character comes from being partly the writer himself. I mean, there are certain references in the details of the chapter that directly refers to Charles Dickens himself. You know, he was one of the hands of the workers at that time. So he is trying to implant some real events from his own life with Stephen Blackball. Not necessarily to be the same suffering, for example, but maybe the same description as Stephen Blackball sees, for example, the factory or the city, the room that he lives in, etc. Different styles. In this chapter, we are introduced for what is called the hands with the capital H, and also for Rachel, Stephen and Rachel. Rachel is a girl that is in love with Stephen. Both of them are hands workers in the factories. But there are certain source of suffering and torture for Stephen, which is his wife, who is alcoholic. She drinks a lot of alcohol, and she, for example, disappeared for months. Then she comes back without a prior notice or any notification, because it is difficult for him to divorce her, and we will say why. So Stephen here lives deep in the labyrinth of narrow, smoky streets of working class Coketown. We have talked about the city of the Coketown. We have said that this town is turned into black. Even the walls of the buildings, houses, most of them, if not all, are colored with a black due to the smoke, or smoke, sometimes they call it, of the factories. They are working, as you know, 24 hours, and they are painted every wall in the city. So imagine a city that is black. What is your mood? What is your view for life? You know, psychologically, a black color motivates sadness. It is not the color of happiness or something relaxed. Always, especially in our culture, it is associated with sadness. And even in other cultures, when you, for example, addicted to see the blackness of everything around you, this will have certain effects on yourself, on your personality. Dua. Yes, switch it off. So this man is living in this black city, and he's working as a weaver, and his hair is turned gray, make him look older, but he is a man of perfect integrity. Dickens describes him as what? A man of perfect integrity. Yani a very honest person. He doesn't lie and never steals or does anything else. A perfect integrity, and this is important. And when factories starts to work, it makes that the city as if a fairy palaces. He says, it make the factories look through the smoke like fairy palaces. Fairy, you know fairy, something imaginative. And Stephen here is a relation with Rachel, but he cannot marry her because he is a married man, and the law at that time does not allow him to marry her. He is separated from his alcoholic wife for 5 years, and he accepts her judgment. At home, he finds that his wife has returned. As usual, she taunts, shames, and robs him. When she comes home, she's what? Increases his suffering, as if she is torturing him. She robs him, steals whatever money he has. Because simply, the law at that time does not give the right for the lower class, like Stephen Blackpool, to divorce his wife. And again, why? The reason, because who enacted these laws for themselves, not for the poor. For example, we have here in our time in the government, the corrupted politicians in parliament or in the government, when they legislate a law, they make what? They design the law according to their needs, not to the people's needs. No. So the law is going to be beneficial, and they are going to take advantage of this law rather than maybe it is disadvantage for us. I have several examples of such issues. So here the law of divorce, as if it is forbidden for Stephen Blackpool, for the lower class. Only the upper class, the rich people, they can divorce, they can marry, and so on. So according to the law, he cannot divorce her. And imagine, you cannot get rid of her, and he keeps living in this torment, this kind of hell, with a woman who goes and comes as she will, and he has no control over her. So in this chapter, prepares the reader for the attack on the divorce law. Dickens here is attacking, everything, whether it is social, sometimes political, or religious. And here the focus is on the divorce law. For Stephen's wife is merciless, ruthless, doesn't have that morals as a decent woman. But he is patient. And patience has some limits. And there are various points to consider here for that kind of law, because some critics complain that virtuous qualities of Stephen and Rachel are unrealistic and sentimental. This is the opinion of the critics. And Victorian conventions meant that Mrs. Blackpool's sexual promiscuity are hinted in the text. through the quotation. How do we know that his wife is not good? Because we have this is kind of a quotation. Follow in her moral infamy, which means that even her morals are not good. So that Stephen is fighting to get rid of her. And Dickens here wanted to show a perfect integrity in working people. What does it mean? It means that, Dickens previously was part of the working class. And factory owners like Bounderby, Gradgrind, and the upper class in general, they want to show for others that working class is not worthy to be respected. They consider them not human. And the good qualities of man, integrity, honesty, dignity, are absent of them. This is wrong, definitely, but this is their views. We cannot, for example, change these views. But so the author's mission here is to change or to explain for his readers in the time of the Victorian age that you are mistaken about those people. Those people like you, like the readers. They have families. They are working in bad conditions. And there are good and there are bad of them. Yani, it is a kind of nature. We are, for example, here, we are not ideal. We are not all of us good. There are bad people and there are good also. So workers, he wants to show that workers are human beings as anyone else. They have the bad and the good sides. He did so partly for the sake of the novel's attack on factory owners, definitely. He wants to attack the factory owners' views. And also because he believes that such integrity really exists. Why? Because he is part of that environment. He knows that there are honest, integrity people, and Stephen Blackpool is a kind of that man. Rachel is a kind of that person, and the circus people are part, and Sissy, and so on, Louisa. Those are other examples of the honesty. For chapter 11. Chapter 11 is entitled No Way Out. Do you have any idea about what is the meaning of no way out? What does it mean?
Yes, it's about the divorce of Blackpool, that he cannot divorce his wife because the law doesn't allow him that, and the law is made by rich for rich people, like Mrs. Boundary say.
Okay.
Mr. Boundary say.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, Benin. Yes, as Benin says, no way out. It means there is no way. There is no road. There is no outlet for him to get rid from the trap, as if the marriage, his marriage is what? Like a trap. You know trap? مو trap هذا التراب بالقاع.
Yes, sir.
Trap. Yes. The trap is a device that is used to catch, for example, an animal, to catch a bird. It is called a trap. And here, Stephen Blackpool, to my analysis, he is like what? A bird. He's trapped in this marriage. He cannot get rid of the marriage or the woman through legal ways. So he went to Bounderby to explain his situation. But Bounderby explains to Stephen that divorce is only for the rich. And as usual, the working day for those people, it starts from the very early morning. Yani, imagine the day starts at, let us say, 3 a.m. in the early morning and ends for this shift in the sunset, after the sunset. They are working 12 hours or more than that with only half an hour rest. They are eating their food. If there is food, it is not sufficient. It is not enough for their hunger. So after working, the serpents of smoke, the image of serpent is very important here. The serpents of smoke in the sky and the steam engines that look like melancholy mad elephants. You remember this description? These images? The engines will start to work like mad elephants. The ground is shaking. And the smoke covers the whole city like giant serpents, snakes. And here the narrator makes a contrast between mechanical power of the mill, of the factory, and the incalculable mystery in every working man. Because every working man is a kind of mystery. Why? This contrast, when you compare the machine is a machine. It is very energetic, powerful. Not like the man who works on the machine, who is what? Who is very weak because of the conditions he lives there, and you know that. So there is no way to compare, but there is a contrast: the energetic machine and the powerless workman who is working on that machine. Why? Sometimes it's not physically weak, but because of the harsh life they are living, you will find their minds are shattered. Their minds are shattered, broken, destroyed. They are thinking in several topics in one moment: his life, his income, his food, his health, his home, his wife, and etc., and his work, and the dates, and it is life. Like, for example, you are here working, but for example, you are renting a house, you have a big family, you need to go to the market, you need to pay for the rent, and your income, your income does not cover these expenses. So your mind is shattered. This kind of thinking is what? Weaken you, destroy you. It is similar to those poor people. So Stephen works at his doom when he goes for a bounderby at lunch in his big house. And Mrs. Sparsit is there. And the lady, I mean Mrs. Sparsit, shocked by Stephen's question. And it is simply because Mrs. Sparsit is similar to bounderby. She believes in the dominance of the upper class on the lower class, and she believes in these laws of the marriage or divorce and other laws. So she is shocked that one of the hands with capital H is asking or inquiring about divorce, as if they are not, they don't have the right to ask about this. He seems to be questioning the law and religion of the land. And in fact, Dickens puts these questions deliberately, intentionally to question, to criticize even the religious institution. The law is designed against religion, to Christianity. Christianity is like Islam and other religions. When there is no conformity between the the man and the woman, and they, for example, reach to a dead end, the only solution is what? Is the divorce, according to certain regulations. But here the religious institution violates religion itself, so that Dickens here criticizes even religion for agreeing upon such law. Just a moment, sorry. Sorry for keeping you late. And here Bounderby tells him that divorce is too expensive for the poor. It seems that there are certain conditions that the poor, in case you want to divorce, you have to pay some amount of money. And it is not like for us right now. I mean, when you divorce, you have to pay the what we call the postponed dowry, يعني المؤخر. No, but that law has legislated, designed to fit the upper class only. So he cannot do what Mr. Bounderby tells him to do. I mean, to pay. So Stephen comes to his usual verdict on society. It is a muddle. This is a quotation. He says it is a muddle. It is a kind of chaos, confusion. And here Bounderby really starts to doubt about Stephen, because he thinks that this man is uncomplaining. Now he fears that a mischievous stranger, this is also a quotation, he calls it what? A mischievous stranger, political agitator. He considers him what? Someone who instigates. Someone who instigates, يعني المحرض. Okay? But Stephen is aware of this accusation. Yes. So Bounderby here repeated his formula, his story for Stephen, to tell him that he's not, for example, born with a turtle soup and invention or a gold spoon. He has working as usual the same story. And bounded by in this chapter with the other factory owners, they like to use the term hand for the workers with the word with the capital H. Why do you think he likes to use the word hand instead of, for example, a worker? Yes, Riam. Yes, Riam.
Yes, sir. Hans term that referred to the Stephen as the worker forced to working, just working, a long time and a long hours for
Yes.
low pay.
Yes. Right. Yes. This is, yeah. But you know, Riam, thank you very much, Benin. Uh, I
Yes,
see the
okay.
hand raised. Yes, Benin. Yes, please.
Answer the question.
Yes, if you have any answer, yes, please.
Yes, I think it will show no attack on Thursdays or how that attract people as units and also enable man like Bounderby to take advantage of it.
Yes, yes, yes. Great. Yes, thank you, Benin. Yes. What other? What it comes to your mind when you, for example, uh, I ask you why they do call them hands? Benin, the other Benin, Benin
Maybe
Ali.
maybe
Yes, maybe.
because they see him as the only hand working in the factory.
Yes,
Because
Benin. My question: why they call them hands only? Yeah, just to let me explain something for you. When you use a nickname, you know nickname.
yes, I know.
Yes, nickname اللقب يعني. Negative one, negative one, not positive. When you, for example, call someone that he is a coward, he is a coward. على سبيل المثال, Ali the coward, Ali the coward. This is a negative nickname. When you call this person by this nickname, it means that what? Do you respect him or disrespect him?
Disrespect him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you, and we have it in our life, daily life. When we, for example, we hate someone, sometimes we get a nickname for him because we don't like him or we consider him nothing in comparison with ourselves or others. So my point here, why he wants, I mean, Bounderby calls the workers as hands. What does he mean? Yes, Riam?
Yes, sir. According a social standing, I mean, it's not have education.
Yes, yes, you are, Riam. Thank you very much. You are about to reach. Your answers are right, but you know sometimes there is a focal point to hit
Yeah.
the nail, the point. It is a kind. I mean, they use the word hands for the workers because they want to degrade, underestimate them, underestimate workers. It is a kind of degradation. Degradation اللي, you know the meaning of degradation or underestimation. يقلل من قيمته, يحتقره. So for them, workers are only machine-like people. Machine-like people. For them, hands are senseless, emotionless. Between two products, they are not human beings. Because if you treat people in this way, it means that you take out the character of humanity and you turn him into either an animal or you turn him in for like a machine. And here a machine like man dehumanized. The workers are dehumanized here in this novel. And this term appears several times in the scene. A submissive man like Stephen is a steady hand, but his bow is not servile. This is a quotation. These hands will never do that. And this kind of language that used by Bounderby reflects his thinking, what is in his mind. Sometimes it is not necessarily to tell someone how much you hate him, how much you love him, how much you are disgusting of him, but when you talk, there are slips of tongue. You know slips of tongue, فلتات اللسان. Sometimes you misuse words, and the other one is going to discover what is your intention towards him. Is it good or bad? Through his slips of tongue. So there is what is called metonymic reduction of people to parts. You see here, you mean to decrease, reduce people. You no longer see people as human beings, full man. And stressing the use of hands reinforces the novel's attack on theorists who treat people as units. Here Dickens attacking those theorists like Adam Smith, Malthus, Jeremy Bentham, who theorizes the utilitarianism and rationalism, because he considers the workers as a stock, as goods. Whenever they are expired, they are thrown away. Get rid of them. Stephen's reference here to crimes of violence in unhappy marriages is a foreshadowing, and it prepares for the scene of the poison barrel in chapter 13, the next chapter. And Bounderby warns sorry guys for this inconvenience. So Stephen's reference to crimes of violence, and Bounderby warns Stephen that this kind of a question is going to make his situation worse. And also this is a kind of foreshadowing for Stephen's quarrel with the union of a trade, the workers. Chapter 12, the old woman. Who is the old woman? Do you have any idea? Yes, Hamida.
Yes, the old woman is Mrs. Bigler.
Yes.
Is the little old woman who comes to town once a year. she is revealed that she is mother bounded by mom.
ايه هو
Who
هذا حميدة, هي هاي الزبدة. Thank you very much. She is bounded by his mother. Yes, thank you very much. So the old woman here who meets Stephen when he goes out of the house of Vanderby is Vanderby's mother. But, and before going through this, why do you think she doesn't live with Vanderby at the same house? Yes, Zainab?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Stephen meets and old man and women who repairs bound pray old country. The women stop Stephen when he leaves the bonder leaves the house. She asks about the way Vanderby did look good and not, and she thinks it's called to work with the quiet Stephen. And she is right proudly.
Okay, so
And she wonders if the
Zainab,
man is the good and can help. Yes,
sorry for interrupting you, but where is the answer? I mean, why she doesn't live with her son in the house?
because she comes to help.
Thank you very much, Zainab, for your participation. Yes, Hamida?
because he tells everyone who will listen that he grew up practically an orphan in the streets.
Which means what? Yes, Hamida, you are about to reach the answer. You know, the answer is not mentioned here. Maybe you will conclude the answer. Imagine a mother, she doesn't live with her son, and she comes once a year into the town. Thank you, Hamida. Yes, Benin?
He said that his mother treated him badly at the first chapters, so he lied about her.
Yeah, he says we don't consider or we don't believe him, Benin. He's a liar. Yes. What else? Who has any idea about? We are just discussion about the reason. I need to hear what comes to your mind. Yes, Adey.
Yes, Doctor. Mr. Boundary, he's convey everyone that he is a self-man made. His mother left him.
Self-made man. Yes.
Self-made man. Sorry, Doctor. His
Yes.
mother left him to his drunk grandmother.
This is his story, Adey. This is his story, right?
Right, sir.
Yeah, but why she doesn't live with him? Why?
Because he Mr. Bounderby is a self-made man and leave his mother, her mother, to
You know, Adey, sorry, Adey. The answer is related to this story. The answer is related to this story, to Bounderby's story about his childhood.
Yes. And yes, Doctor. Right. Sir.
So, yes, thank you very much. Yes, Benin?
Maybe because he said that he is an orphan and not from a loving family who provide for this start. He told them, I think
Yes.
that
Which
he's
means what?
self-made.
Which means what? When she talks about his childhood, what will happen?
The truth will discover
Yes.
of his
Benin.
lie.
That's the point. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah. When you tell people lies, about your life, and you build up your glory upon these lies. You don't like others who know your background, your past, and tell people everything, even if that person is what, your mother or father. The analysis for this point, she doesn't live with him because, you know, she is the source or the threat for his false dignity. Vanderbilj's false dignity. He depends on this lie. He depends on everyone, every single person in the city. He knows the story. He memorizes the story, and he, as if what, he is a self-made man, and you know, he was left in a ditch when he was infant, and we know as readers it is a lie. Imagine, do you believe that an infant, يعني رضيع, for example, his age is 1 year, can live alone by himself? Definitely no. This is incredible. But people are convinced, or maybe they are skeptic about this story. But what is important for us is that the old woman who comes here once a year is the main thread for his truth. Sorry, his lie is the main threat for his lie. She is going to scandalize him. She is going to tell people about the truth. Okay, so this is the reason. Thank you very much for your participation. So when she mentions her son, she says about that gentleman. She calls Bounder by a gentleman, and we excuse her. Why? Because she's a mother, and the mother glorifies, you know, glorifies the son or the daughter. Even the daughter or the son is the worst people. She says she comes in Cocktown once a year to look at the gentleman. In this chapter, we cannot guess who she is. The old woman seems a possible threat to Bounderby's independence of human ties. But the plot here links all the characters together, implying that life binds us all. But selfish or misguided characters want to rely on themselves, like Bounderby. Because we are connected. I mean, as human beings, we are connected with each other, except for the selfish people. The selfish people does not or do not have any connection with others. Why? Because they are thinking about themselves only. And whenever you think about the interest of yourself at the expense of others, you are out of humanity. You are out of humanity. So, Bounderby denies that anyone ever helped him. See here? He denies. He refuses to accept the truth that he has been helped by others. But maybe we could believe that he may be a self-made man. It is credible, can be believed, but as no one helped him, this is the biggest lie. And the old woman is another character that acts out of her role. Which means what? I mean, her role, her speeches and gestures, and kissing Stephen's hand, for example, when she hears he has worked for Bounderby for 12 years, gives us much more dramatic impact through this character. Unfortunately, we could not read the whole text. I mean, the details. If we read the details, the text, we will find, I mean, more things that are related to those characters. whether good or bad. For chapter 13, Rachel, which is entitled Rachel. Rachel is the love of Stephen, is also another hand, another worker. And in this chapter, we have Stephen who broods, thinks about the unfairness of death. He thinks about unfairness of death. For him, death is not just, is not fair, يعني غير عادل. Why is that? Because he thinks that death takes the good ones and leave the bad ones. And sometimes we say this even in our life. Why should, he says, why should it take, I mean death, take loved wives and spare worthless one, like his wife? When he returns home, he finds Rachel waiting beside his wife, who is in alcoholic coma. She is unconscious. And here Rachel helps his wife dress and bandage her injuries from a barrel which is told that it is a poison to drink. It is a poison to drink. And this barrel frightens Stephen. After sleeping and dreaming, he has a dream of his own damnation. What does he dream? He dreams that he was executed before an altar and a vast crowd of witnesses. When he awakes, he sees his wife about to drink the poison. He finds what? His wife is about to drink the poison. What does he do? What does he do?
Right.
Do you have any? Yes, Riam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what does he do when he finds his wife is about to drink the poison?
Brian, to wake until to wake the Rachel. And
No, he doesn't want to wake Rachel. He waits for her to drink, to get rid of her.
yes.
Yes, thank you, Riam. But at the moment of drinking, about to drink the poison, Rachel wakes up and takes out the poison from her hand. He believes Stephen's soul because he might not have been willing to stop his wife drinking the poison. Stephen's dream here narrated in detail in the later chapters. And also similar one is going to be seen in book 2, chapter 4. There's a supernatural element here is vividly present in Stephen's mind in this chapter during his dream. It is okay, Mustafa. Never mind. So the dream here is very important because he sees the light behind Rachel's head as a halo. You know the circle, you have seen the circle in cartoon, sometimes the circle around the head, like angel. Yes, like angel. He sees this in his dream around the head of Rachel, and he pledges to Rachel to restrain his anger for her sake. This promise would have been clearer if Dickens gives more details And here he referred to Rachel's sister death. Here, this chapter, there is a reference to Rachel's sister death in a factory accident. And Stephen talks about the owner's neglect of safety precautions in factories. And she begged him to leave this topic because it is something painful for her to remember the painful memories about her sister. But for Stephen is promised her to keep his promise, to keep his word for her. With the introduction of Stephen Blackpool, the novel delves into the world of hands, as we have said already, who are impoverished of Cooktown. And Dickens uses them to represent the plight of the poor. And his love for Angelic Rachel is shown to be a good character despite his horrible marriage. He immediately contrasts with the self-obsessed Bounderby, a difference that hammered home when Stephen visits his employer, because he realized the difference between his way of living and Bounderby way of living. But however, Bounderby makes clear that there are no laws to help Stephen. All laws are made by rich for the rich. As we have said, the laws are made by the rich for the rich only. And Bounderby tells Stephen that he has no chance but to accept his fate. And also Bounderby reminds Stephen that, and this is a quotation, there is a sanctity in relation of marriage that must be kept up. And in fact, this is a kind of irony. Why irony? Because Bounderby is talking about religion and sanctity. Sanctity is the معناها قداسة أو قدسية الزواج. It's talking about the sanctity of marriage, and at the same time, he married Louisa for nothing. Only wants to have her, to possess her as any piece of furniture in his house, and then he is going to divorce her. And this is the irony. The irony when someone, for example, I'm talking about, you heard someone talking about religion, religious acts, and the commitments, obligations of religion, but you will find that person who preaches, يعني اللي يعظ بالناس, in a certain situation contrary to his preaches or religious views. You'll catch him, for example, stealing. You'll catch him cheating or doing bad things. This is a kind of irony when you talk someone about something and you do another. This is for exactly the same for Bounderby. Talks about the sanctity of the marriage, and at the same time he is what? He is doing the reverse, the bad things. This is the end of the lecture today, and I'll be happy if you have any question, any comment, any addition, any inquiry, any question, any suggestion. Yes, Riam?
Yes, sir. I don't understand this reason about Bonderby when tell Stephen about the divorce.
Yes.
Too expensive and only to the rich. Why he tell Stephen that?
Yes.
You said about the side bag of money?
Yes,
Not side bag of money.
Yes, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
We said that the divorce law is designed by whom? By the rich. We don't expect that to find one of the workers or one of the hands in the parliament, right? We
Yes.
cannot. They cannot go to the parliament to be parliamentary person and enact or design a law. So those people, I mean the rich people, let us say the upper class, they design and enact شرعوا. They enact this law only for them, only for rich. And what they do, they have put certain conditions. For example, if you want to divorce a woman, you have to pay, for example, certain amount of money. And
Yes.
the hands are very poor. They cannot offer to pay for the details. Like for example, يعني when you want to divorce a woman right now here nowadays, you have to pay the postponed dowry اللي هو المؤخر, right?
Yes, according to the law.
Yes,
Right?
according to the law and to religion. But the law that's enacted by the upper class is against their religion, but according to the law, it becomes a law. And
Yes.
this, it is too expensive for Stephen to pay this money for his wife and divorce her, so that he becomes what? He has to accept his fate. He has to accept his reality. Okay? Am I clear,
Okay.
Riham?
Yes, clear. Another question.
Yes.
Why is Stephen not ready to prevent his wife from the vision? I thought is on-set man and have principles and he refused to link with his love, Rachel.
Yes. Because he is fed up. You know, he reaches to the verges, to the edge, to the verge of madness, unbearability, unable to bear the conditions of his loving. I mean, this is the limit. This is the limit of his patience and ability. So that, and also moreover, he blames himself for not preventing his wife. He wants to prevent. But at that time, I mean, when he finds her that she has coma, unconscious because of alcohol,
Yes.
he is tempted. You know the word tempted. The word tempted means it is similar to that what happens to Adam and Eve. He is tempted. غواية يعني غواية.
Yes.
Yes, he is tempted that she is going to drink this poison and die, and what? Marry Rachel.
Yes.
This is not against his honesty, but sometimes, you know, man in general has moments of weakness
Yes.
that changes his way of behavior. Okay?
Yes. Okay. I understand this. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, Fatma?
Yes, sir. Just I want to show even Rachel trends in caring for Stephen's wife and her all the friendship and why Stephen because he did or why his wife became a dark and prostitute. Is that a weakness?
And
You mean?
I think
Weakness
your
of him?
question, Fatma, I think your question has several questions. What is
Yes,
the first one?
Even Rachel tenderness in caring for Stephen's wife and her old friend show was a great good wife and Stephen picked up, as he did, or why his wife became a drunk and
Yes.
prostitute. You mean weakness?
Fatma, I think
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes,
Okay. As for Rachel, she is kind for Stephen because she's in love for him, with him. This is one thing, and you know,
yes,
this is something natural.
yes.
And uh, though I don't hear clearly the other questions, but I
I mean,
expect you are asked. Yes.
I mean, why he leave her and he was weak.
Fatma, do you read the questions or you are speaking the questions? Because you know I couldn't understand you right now.
Yes, his wife. He was a kind woman, and even that Stephen
No,
picked.
his wife is not kind. She is alcoholic.
يعني تظهر كقديسة. She
No,
was
no, no, no,
far
no,
قديس.
no, no,
Yes,
no. His wife,
yes,
Stephen's wife, is not is not a good or kind. On the contrary, we said alcoholic.
yes.
Alcoholic. She is addicted to alcohol and she leaves him for months. And then she came back, and when she came back, she makes his life worse and drops him. Robs, steals him.
Yes,
So he wants to get rid of her in any way. And this is take us to the previous question, Riyam's question about why
so he
he
chose,
wants her to die because of the poison.
he didn't choose her in the end.
Yeah, he wants to
Yes,
get rid in any possible way.
yes, yes. I
Do you
understand.
think?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Fatma.
Thank you.
Yes, please. Any other question, comment, addition? Bashir.
No, sir, we don't have.
عجب. Okay. Let me switch off the recording.